Hi, I am Kiana.
And I'm Jasmine, and this is our project on HIV.
We live in Seattle, Washington, and go to Roosevelt High School. We both take biotechnology. We work together with our partners, David and Joyce, from Vuria, Kenya, to research and discover what HIV is, its effect on the community in Africa, and what we can do to help. HIV is the agent that causes acquired immune deficiency syndrome (AIDS). It is a retrovirus composed of RNA. HIV is an enveloped virus. Beneath the envelope is the capsid, which holds the genetic material and essential viral enzymes. HIV is dangerous because it infects and eventually destroys helper T cells. Helper T cells are essential in the human immune system because they help destroy invading pathogens. Since HIV infects the helper T cells, it disrupts the whole immune system and our body cannot fight infections that, if healthy, it normally would protect against. The infected helper T cells are directed by HIV to create new viruses, destroying most of them during the HIV replication process, eventually leading to AIDS. There is no cure for HIV. Once a person is infected with it, they will always carry it in their body, and they can infect other people with the virus. Some ways it can be transmitted is through unprotected sexual intercourse, sharing of needles, or being born to or breastfed by an HIV-positive mother. Medications currently available can help slow down the viral process. A common method being used currently is the highly active antiretroviral therapy strategy, which usually combines 2 or more antiretroviral drugs. Many people who have HIV and take their medications regularly live a long and relatively healthy life. But these medications are very expensive, and several low-income families around the world cannot afford it. In sub-Saharan Africa, there are currently 10.6 million people needing ARVs and only 3.9 million receiving it.
HIV prevalence in most countries in Africa is very high. In Kenya, the HIV prevalence is 6.2%. That means that about 1.6 million people in Kenya are living with HIV. The poorest people are the most at risk of becoming infected because women and girls generally turn to prostitution as a means for bringing income to the home. Sex work not only increases the worker's chances of getting HIV, but it also increases the rate of infection in general. In both Uganda and Kenya, over 10% of all HIV infections were transmitted through sex workers. HIV can also affect the economy. The market falls because a lot of households can no longer afford goods because of the cost of illness. Domestic productivity decreases because of the HIV-related death or inefficiency of workers. As a result, exports are reduced and imports are increased. The decline in earnings from exports and increased import of expensive healthcare goods puts countries in Africa in debt and in need of more international economic assistance. AIDS will not only reverse the progress in poverty reduction, but will increase the percentage of people living in extreme poverty. Funding for HIV and AIDS relief has come from several organizations. One mentioned by our partners was the Kenya Christian AIDS Network. PEPFAR provided Uganda with funds to circumcise 750 men. Circumcision has been scientifically proven to reduce HIV infection by approximately 60%. AMREF has started a project to support orphans and widows. By means of forming a support group, they encourage them to stand up for their rights, teach them how to protect themselves from getting infected with HIV, strengthen HIV prevention activity, and encourage widows to engage in income-generating activities to offset the effect of HIV by providing them with loans to start a business. So what can be done to help communities in Africa? People in Africa should be taught about protection methods such as condoms, abstinence, and male circumcision, and should be encouraged to get tested for HIV often and get treated if they're HIV positive. Some of these things are already being taught in our partner's hometown. Joyce and David said that they're being taught about abstaining from sex, use of contraceptives, and being faithful to one's sexual partner. A way to encourage people to do this is by creating support groups that will help them overcome embarrassment, which is common among several communities because of the culture. Our partners told us that in their town, they treat HIV-infected people with respect and care and do not make them feel rejected. Joyce and David believe that what their community needs is for people to provide food, home-based health care, medication, financial support, and orphan care for families with HIV-infected members. To help support programs that encourage this positive activity, people everywhere can raise awareness and donate money to help make a difference.